What's good, y'all? My name is A Sincere. This is the Soundflake podcast. If you're watching visually, it's a little bit different because your boy is kind of sick, so I don't want to get my brothers at the studio sick. So with that being said, we are recording virtually, but not virtually at the same time. But real quick, I want to introduce my
technology.
brothers. Yeah, for technology. On the right hand side of my camera.
That's
Oh, you-
Skywalker Mike.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
go
Skywalker
first,
Mike.
sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll go first. And then we got our other co-star.
Yo, Snorik, that's cool. What's up, y'all?
Hi guys.
Yeah, man, we're back with another episode, and this one is a very special one, very anticipated movie
We were talking about this for a little while.
for years. I think at least 2 years. This movie's
Just
been
waiting for this movie to
just
come
waiting
out.
for this movie to come out.
It's important.
Yeah, no, it's important to the universe that it's in.
No, to the multiverse.
Oh,
It's
to the
it's
multiverse.
important to, the whole journey that we've been on
Yeah.
with all of these Marvel movies. And so, I think it's very appropriate for us to start off this episode in saying that we are going to be talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Plenty to talk about. I know by the time you guys hear this podcast, you've probably already seen it because it's breaking records and people are watching it and
Yeah.
people are talking about it on the internet. And
Yeah, at the time of this recording, the last time I saw it hit 500 million.
and it's gonna probably keep
already.
going up.
Yeah,
It's probably gonna keep
I mean,
going up.
obviously, I think that's worldwide.
Mhm.
I assume it's out everywhere already.
You think it'll hit 1 billion?
I think it'll be close, but not like 900 million. I think it'll hit like 700.
700.
It'll-
I can see it falling to
It'll
700.
hit 1 billion, but not anytime soon. I don't think.
Not like part of the initial record.
Yeah.
I feel
Right.
like
Mhm.
yeah,
It'll hit 1
but
billion, but
yeah.
not within the next month.
It's like Drake's streaming numbers. Like they're gonna be high.
Yeah.
This is
It's
gonna
just
be
that
this
of-
is gonna be a
it's gonna
platinum
be-
album. But
Exactly.
It's gonna
Yeah.
take you. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So we're gonna be. This is episode 68, 69, 68,
68.
68 of the Soundflake podcast. Thank you for all of our new subscribers. Thank you for Productive Culture. We got Derbs in the studio right now.
Derbs made a cameo in the beginning. Shout out
yeah.
Derbs.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna see that, but
Well,
yeah. Shout out Derbs anyway, because he's the man. We're definitely going to jump into the characters of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the story, how it connects to the greater universe, our thoughts on our movie experience. We all went to go see it together, which was really, really dope. We don't get to do that too often.
no, we
so
don't. We got
whenever all the-
Hibachi also.
And we
Set
got
the
Hibachi.
tone. Set the tone.
It was fire. Nah, okay, wait, hold on. Before we even jump into the movie, the Hibachi was fire.
Yeah, it was fire. It was a cool experience. I don't know. Do you guys think there's a raccoon under that guy's hat?
I mean,
Rakakuni.
Rakakuni. Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
for
he was
real.
pretty
though.
good. So I was like, I've seen this before. I've seen this in a movie.
It was my first time doing hibachi.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
like,
was it really?
Like having like the full like the
Have you
the
ever
show
done
and everything.
Korean
Oh, you
barbecue?
mean like him?
Yeah, I've done
Okay,
Korean
that's-
barbecue. Yeah.
Make
So
the
that's like
jokes.
that's the intro.
Well, with Korean
step for
barbecue,
sure.
like I cook it myself, or like
Yeah.
the homies cook it, but
yeah, that's
having
like
somebody else
that's
do
the
it.
intro step before
Exactly.
you go to hibachi.
Yeah.
Because
So
then somebody else will cook it for you.
yeah, and I never went to Benihana's and did the whole Benihana thing or anything like that. So it was a cool experience. So shout out to A
It's fun.
Sincere and his family because we were able to go with them.
Yeah.
And we went to go see this movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Skywalker
Yeah.
Mike, regale us in the tales of us watching it.
Man, I don't know. Just I love that feeling of watching a movie for the first time. Because after that, it's still enjoyable, but like it's just something hits you so fresh, like it's that first movie smell, that new
Mhm.
movie
Oh,
smell.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
like
I
when you
mean?
open up tennis balls
And
or new
then,
shoes.
the whole crowd is really into it. I mean, it's packed. We're in a huge theater.
Mhm.
Cinema One is pretty much IMAX, right? Sincere?
Yeah. Cinema One is Harkins, like their version of IMAX, similar to like
Mm.
Regal's
Yeah,
RPX.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the
Their
format was
enhanced
dope.
experience.
The sound was
Exactly.
dope. And then the movie, like, again, we've been waiting for 2 years, and then the hype has gotten so big. I think me and Nuri talked about it. Sometimes
Mhm.
the hype gets a little too big, for the movie or bigger than the movie, and then you get the movie, and sometimes the expectations, are like, not reached,
Mhm.
but for this one, I'm kinda glad certain expectations weren't reached because the way they went was just it was awesome, especially for the first Marvel horror movie. That
That
was
to me is like the big thing that's what I wanted to make sure showed throughout the
mhm,
film was that like they build this as Marvel's first horror movie. So I really wanted to get the horror movie vibes out of it. Sam Raimi I think did a good
yeah,
job, and I
perfect
told
person to
y'all
get.
because I was scared with the 2 hours and 6 minutes, but I told y'all they
Mhm,
have to get
We
straight to it,
because
and they
originally it
did.
was 2 hours and 42 minutes, I think it
yeah,
was.
That was the first, runtime that we got,
Hmm.
so we weren't worried, when
mhm,
2 hours and 40 minutes, I was like, "Okay, that's plenty of
yeah, that's
time.
plenty.
This is gonna be
And
good."
then top of the year, I sent it to the group chat. I'm like, "Yo, it's 2 hours and 6 minutes," and Enrique was like,
Oh, man.
"What? 2 hours and six
Yeah,
minutes?"
I
and then
immediately started to worry because 2 hours and 6 minutes with a movie like Multiverse of Madness, you have to show so many things, and, like, to me you have a choice to make when you're creating these types of movies in that art. You can either be fan service, where it's like, I'm going to just show you the image, which is basically saying I thought about it too,
mhm,
and that's where you get like the dopamine hit, so to speak, of like, oh, I saw it, oh,
yeah,
I saw this character, it was so
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah,
But
because that's what I thought. They were just gonna show glimpses.
I wanted them to the other way you can do it is really take it a step further, and
Right.
it's like, okay, not only are we gonna show you these things, but we're gonna show it for a reason, and probably in a way that you didn't necessarily anticipate, but it's all going to make sense in the greater thing. And I don't know, man, I feel like that they kinda gave in to the fans a little bit.
Uh,
Mm.
I
maybe.
don't know if
I
they
think
really
just
went the
enough.
way that they needed to
I
advance
know exactly
what
what
was
you
going
mean.
on, you know what I mean?
I guess, this off top, this movie is a Doctor Strange movie, but it contains so many other characters where the story followed those characters a little bit more than a Doctor Strange movie should, you know? But again, they kind of told us like before, this is an end game level type of movie. So there is expectations of several characters being either introduced or just being in the film in general.
Mhm.
And I think they had the right amount of characters needed for the movie.
For the runtime that they had, absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, like, and I see rumors, Wolverine was supposed to be in it. Deadpool was gonna show up with the rest of the X-Men in a post-credit scene, and Sincere was kind of like, I think that would have been a little too much.
What this movie showed me is that we finally gotten to the place, and we started getting there with No Way Home, but like No Way Home kind of delivered on
Mhm.
what the expectation
Yeah.
was, but we saw what happens when you don't deliver on the expectation. And I feel like our imaginations ran wild leading up to this
Yeah,
movie as far
for
as
sure.
who can pop in and who will be there.
Mephisto,
Yeah, how they're gonna
Nightmare,
introduce people, like, oh, all these characters are gonna be in here. Kang's gonna be in
Heisman.
here. Deadpool's gonna be in here. They'll bring the X-Men from this different universe and bring them in, and all of these other rumors and just imaginations. And then they didn't deliver that. And for the first time, I kind of felt it. I normally
Mhm.
stay away from it, but I was getting kind of hyped with some of these rumors. I was like, it would be ridiculous, but if someone were to do it, it'd be Marvel Disney.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. And for the first time, I was kind of like, damn, man, like I wish I wish that they did that a little bit more,
Yeah.
it wasn't madness of the multiverse, it was just some of the
Multiverse.
multiverse, you
The
know?
the way I see it, the multiverse of madness is the madness. I just associate that with Wanda, and then multiverse is like the Doctor Strange side. So like
Mhm.
that's the way I see it when I see Multiverse, because obviously she was the madness of the movie.
Yeah.
She went crazy, and it's interesting because I did see a clip of her in an interview, I think in Infinity War or
It was for Age of Ultron.
Ultron, yeah, and she was talking about how, like, I would love to see Wanda's arc where she goes crazy, the
Mhm.
House of M, and which is what happened in WandaVision, and her creating kids and then not
Mhm.
actually having kids.
Mhm.
And people stepping in saying your children aren't real, and then her losing her shit. Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, but there's no way Marvel would ever go that path." Like,
Yeah,
there's no
but
way.
then they did.
Yeah, plus more, I think.
A long time ago, I said that when Scott Derrickson, who's the
Dickerson,
producer,
yeah.
who's the director of the first film, producer of this one, when he left for creative differences, I had a feeling it was because of like the movie that we got.
Mhm.
It was like, no, we need Wanda to be in this.
Yeah.
We need this to go a certain way, and we need to introduce these characters. Can you make your movie around this happening and make it make sense? And you can't, when Disney gives you those kinds of parameters,
Yeah,
it's
and
like you can't do
the
that.
way Disney Marvel is already doing movies, they have a lot of the movie already planned out.
Yep.
Like CGI wise, all of the shots are already computer generated, and they kind of just have the directors fill in the blanks, at least most of the time. Especially for Endgame, for big level movies, I think they have all the big fights, pre-vised out, and that's why sometimes people are like, at the end of the movie is all the action, and then throughout the rest of the movie is like the rest of the director's work, and then the action is really Marvel Disney's part.
Well, I feel like
they kind of want that.
with that, I feel like it's like the evolution of the storyteller. Like storytellers were like, okay, I need to build up the story. If these action shots have to be in the movie, I'm gonna make sure that they get my story, and then I'll throw in these action shots. But now you got to mix it up, which is what they did with Doctor Strange, because we get a fight scene first, first shots, right off the top, and then we get like a second. We literally get about 3 fight scenes
in the first 15 minutes
first act of this entire film.
Yeah,
I thought was pretty dope.
And it goes back to what you're saying. They have to like really just go in right away, and
for sure.
In that first scene, if you guys want to jump into the movie already,
talking about it.
Some of the actors, I mean, we got Protector Strange in that first
Defender
Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Defender Strange. I don't know.
That's just like what he's billed as on the Funkos, that's where they took all the names from. So, which is we got to talk about that, but that's like separate though, because that's the power of Funko.
We got America Chavez in the Gap universe. Is that what it is?
It's like an in between of the universe, right?
Yeah. So it's the I guess you want to call it Gap multiverse, but it's the middle point of where think of it like an intersection where all these multiverses meet and end. And that's why it's also someone pointed out there's 16 pillars where it could be 16 potential multiverses connecting to that one point, but all the bridges to the multiverses are broken off.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Actually. You know what would have been cool in that universe if they just had like the Watcher's eyes. It's stuff like that would have changed the whole.
I mean, we kind of got the Living Tribunal, but we'll touch on that in a little bit.
I saw it again, and I didn't like when I first saw it. I thought that there was one Living Tribunal.
There's 3.
There's a whole bunch. Yeah. Like there's 3 heads, but there's a whole bunch of them. So I'm like,
it's like rows of it. I think, right?
And that confuses me too, because I'm like, okay, does every universe have their own Living Tribunal?
Right.
Or was that just the universe of all?
Which fun fact in Infinity War, where Doctor Strange and Thanos are fighting on Titan, they had a written out scene of Doctor Strange and Thanos in front of the Living Tribunal where Thanos got acquitted for what he was about to do.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty dope.
Like out of like the Time Stone, like when he was
pretty much. Since Doctor Strange saw into the future, he was going to be able to take the Living Tribunal. Like this is what he plans to do using the Infinity Stones.
Like he was gonna like plead his case.
Exactly.
That would
exactly. Yeah, and so because Doctor Strange couldn't really like, either way in the comic books he gets acquitted, but Doctor Strange's whole thing was going to be, I could show you what he's about to do, and they're going to acquit him on screen and then finish their fight scene on Titan.
It's pretty
That'd
dope.
been cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just things like that where you're trying to figure out what direction that they're going through. So in this movie, I didn't know where they were going, but seeing Defender Strange and America Chavez fighting this
Demon.
monster, this
demon.
demon, was pretty intense. Like I like the strength of the demon. Like it wasn't an easy.
No,
Oh, he wasn't
fight,
holding back at
you know,
all.
It wasn't
Yeah,
holding
at
back.
all,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like I'm really coming after
Yeah.
you, and
And I
I
like
appreciate that.
Like, off top, we get a demon chasing America Chavez, but we're like, what? Who is it the demon itself trying to get America Chavez's power, or is it somebody that sent it? There's off top, there's mystery to the movie, and like we didn't really get a clear who was gonna be the villain in this movie. After watching, I was like, "Whoa, that kind of was obvious." Now that I think about it,
The trailers were misdirecting.
yeah,
Yeah, very.
misdirection where you didn't think Wanda was eventually going to be a villain. You thought she was going to be fighting besides
I
Strange.
like using the word protagonist in this film, just
Yeah.
because of the arc. And
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say she's a villain. I mean, this is one of those movies where there wasn't going to be an end of the world if they didn't stop her. Well, maybe that was their thought process.
I mean, I kind of feel I feel you sincere because like Wanda's not a villain from like the label,
Yeah,
but she's doing villainy in this story,
right,
and which makes her the antagonist, which is
or
what
antagonist. My bad.
it's like the protagonist and Wanda is just the antagonist within the context of this story.
there is a protagonist one.
I said protagonist, huh?
Yeah, you did, but
my
it's
bad. Antagonist. Y'all know what I meant.
It's okay. Y'all can attack.
I'm on medication. Leave me alone.
They probably didn't know what you meant, but it's okay because we cleared it up. So I like that story and it kind of makes sense, but there was tons of misdirection, like they showed in the trailer, like Wong and Wanda seemingly fighting on the same side when that was totally opposite of what was going on throughout the movie. And what I didn't think was that the reveal was gonna be how much she personally did, which I feel like didn't really get addressed. Like she sent that demon to kill Doctor Strange. She's killed probably multiple Doctor Stranges before.
Yeah.
And she never really mentioned that to Steven, which I feel like would have been dope if she was like, "You're not the first Doctor Strange that like I've murdered trying to get this girl.
Yeah.
You need to relax."
Yeah. The Defender Strange.
She was just nice to him because she knew him.
Yeah, that was her universe, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Well, it's like her concept of the multiverse seems so advanced when you think about her sending these demons after America Chavez. Like, yeah, the Darkhold informed her, but like it would have been great for us to know how that information was given so that we can learn more about the multiverse. But there wasn't anything that's like telling us about the multiverse. It's like we were just as confused as Doctor Strange going through learning everything, like as an audience.
I mean, and then that too, you would think Doctor Strange and Wong know so much,
would know a little bit more.
That's what
exactly.
we've been led to believe throughout all these movies is that, okay, when something really goes down, we'll look to Doctor Strange or Wong, and they're like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just as close as you, and so we're just like, damn, like who is in charge then?
And I don't know how you can do that right when you just got off of No Way Home. Like you just saw the multiverse happen, and you telling me like you just kicked it and waited for this to happen. Like I don't know. I was hoping for just more information up front from Doctor Strange because him and Wong, there isn't anybody else that can have that knowledge.
They're at the top of the food, like they're the ones.
The only person that can have that knowledge exactly is Loki, and that was another person that I felt like should have been in this movie.
Yeah, that's one thing I really was like kind of hoping.
That's like
But-
my hot take. Like I want to expound more on that, but I know that we have like other stuff about the movie to talk about. But like my hot take is Loki should have been in the movie. It would have
Yeah.
changed everything.
We can get to that
Okay.
soon, but definitely just want to talk about Doctor Strange and Wong.
And where the characters are at right now.
where
within
they're
this.
at. You know, obviously Doctor Strange is not the Supreme, and Wong is.
Mhm.
It was super cool to see Wong fighting with his whip. It was very Wonder Woman-esque.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think that Strange should be the Supreme.
The Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. I see why, you know, Strange is a little unreliable at moments, especially now that we know in every multiverse he's the threat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to their whatever multiverse or whatever universe they're in, he's the main threat, not Wanda. But I mean, obviously Wong, he's like, all right, you know,
Well, Wong's been fighting for 5 years
that
without
too,
Strange.
you know, that too. I
Who
mean, he
knows
probably
what he's
knows.
been?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
You
thought
know.
we were gonna get more of that.
Yeah.
You know, more of
We still haven't gotten the movie that takes place within the 5 years, which
Yeah.
I'm very.
something.
They have to do something. I don't understand why they don't have that movie.
Secret Invasion.
I mean, that's it's technically
Eternal?
in game. Technically,
I mean, no, though, no, not Endgame. I would say Eternals, but like not
Yeah,
really
there
though.
had to be some.
There
stuff
has to
going
be a
down.
movie.
There was a power vacuum for sure, and so many people tried to step into that.
Had to be, and when you have a movie like No Way Home that took place in Christmas, and it seems like this movie took place in spring, it's only a few months apart. So you're telling me you can't tell me a movie that's 2 months within those 5 years? You know,
Yeah.
that to me, I don't know, it's like a missed
Yeah,
opportunity.
I don't
but
know if like they eventually will do that, or I don't know. That's a tough one, because I mean, it does seem like they just skip forward to the 5 years and then just from there.
It seems like narratively they're running into more problems skipping forward without telling stories that happen like in between what happened with Endgame to really satisfy us and fill it up.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess it pushes you creatively, because now you got to think like, how far in advance are you gonna go? And now that they have this multiverse, they can have a movie set in any universe now, and they can just let us know like, oh, by the way, this is the 626 universe, you know, or
the Lilo and Stitch universe.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's the Paint universe. This is
The
where
Paint
this
universe,
movie
yeah.
takes place.
That was cool.
Which I thought would I think would be cool, you know, with these new movies that are coming out. It'll allow different actors to be casted and everything like that. So that's the cool part about what this movie kind of opened up for the future of Marvel films.
Yeah, no, they opened the door that can't be shut. That's for sure. Or maybe
Unless
can
it
be
gets shut by Doctor Doom. That's the only way.
Yeah,
But that's like
Hmm.
it's a future
Yeah.
thing.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see when we get there.
But I loved Wong. I love the banter between Wong and Doctor Strange.
Oh, the
just
bowing,
Yeah, just like because like it's a little subplot
ancient custom
of like just
Sorcerer
what you're
Supreme.
saying. You know, Doctor Strange should have been Sorcerer Supreme,
Yeah,
but he's not.
Mhm.
So you have to have that little banter between them of like Wong saying like, "Fam, I'm gonna need your respect. Like I know
Yeah.
you've been gone and you haven't seen me get real, but I'm real now though.
like, bro, you don't know what I went through. I had to hold down every sanctum.
Every sanctum." It's me. I had to build alliances. I had to negotiate with monsters and do all these other like.
Yeah,
He had to do the Dormammu himself, you know.
yeah.
So
I
it's
want to
like
see the Wong movie.
he's like, "Fam, I need you to bow to me."
I need
Like
the Wong movie. That's what I need.
what they need to do is they need to do Strange Academy, and that would be a Disney Plus show where they can have all of the people at Carmitage, which we got more of, which was really
that
dope.
was cool.
You can have all the sorcerers. It'll be like Harry Potter, but like Marvel though.
Yeah,
And then have Wong be the
Wow, they
headmaster. It would
need
be
that.
fire, bro.
and America Chavez is in it.
Yes,
And,
America Chavez, the little
Ned.
the Minotaur, have Ned in there, make a cameo. You know,
that's-
it would be
That's
sick.
fire.
It'll be
Disney
sick.
Plus, hit us up. We will write like 10% of this show for you.
8 episodes. 8 episodes will be fire. And in that show, you can probably show a little bit more about the different sanctums and why the different sanctums are different.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, because I mean that
Would've been
we
hard.
see more
They need
sanctums,
to pay me.
and I feel like in Doctor Strange when we hear about these different sanctums and we see them, but we don't actually see the sorcerers manning the sanctums and what they're dealing with, which is it was cool to see them more. They came to fight, and I mean leading into the Carmartage scene, where we do see those other sanctums come, like it is crazy like how many people were there. And I just want to know why they had bows and arrows.
I don't know, man. It's magic.
I guess because they're all students, or most of them are students, right?
Yeah. I mean, in the first Doctor Strange, they trained with weapons. Mordo had the staff of the Living Tribunal, and like so, there is martial arts that's in there. I saw them like trying to kill Mordo and Doctor Strange's fight scene, and we're going to talk about it during that time. But like they're expert trained fighters, like they could fight. There's martial arts that's involved. It's not just all sorcery,
all magic and sorcery.
Yeah, exactly. So that didn't shock me or anything like that. But what was crazy is Wanda's introduction to this movie.
The
so
Scarlet Witch. Oh
no, Wanda, like when she was dreaming, and they had like it felt like a WandaVision episode, and then all of a sudden it like just the hard cut into the silence let me know what time it was. I was like, okay, Sam Raimi's like, he's about stealing joy this whole movie. Like everything that you think is gonna be awesome, he's just gonna rip that from you.
And he did.
No, he did. And like I realized that after I watched the movie again, because I was like, oh well, that was what the Defender Strange scene was about. You thought it was gonna be this wonderful, heroic, save thing and
take America Chavez's power.
Exactly. So it was stealing what your perspective is. And then same thing with Wanda, and they just kept doing that. And I was like, that's interesting because that's scary, right? And this is the horror movie, but it's not gruesome, and it's not like
it wasn't too gruesome,
gory or anything like that, except Homeboy's eye getting taken out.
Yeah, one part it was pretty
poor Gargantos.
But yeah, Carmartage, that scene was dope. Even seeing her roll up in the dark clouds, and you hear like all this evil.
The sound was on point, man. When she emerged from the cloud, and the sound, like whatever that noise was.
Sounds, I think, I don't know. I'm kind of guessing, but it reminded me of some sounds in Evil Dead. So I don't know if Sam Raimi like has like a pack. He's like, yeah, use this sound pack.
The sound pack.
He got the sample pack with him.
The horror sound.
You
sound
need
pack.
to use these in the movie, okay? That would be cool if it is, or if Marvel's just like, okay, let's kind of go and see and replicate what you use and use that for Wanda.
Yeah,
which was really cool, just seeing her pull up in that dark cloud. I thought the dark cloud was gonna stay the whole time, and then just disappeared. And then that's when Strange went to go and negotiate with her, and she's saying, I'm being nice. Like
I thought that she would have brought an army with her, like of other types of demons and stuff. Because if she was using these runes to get them, that would have been.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That was her nice approach.
She was being reasonable.
You're lucky I sent these demons, because when I pull up, it's no joke. And we see she does not mess around, bro. Like she demolished Carmartage, and slowly, obviously, she had to get through the barrier, which was another cool one. Seeing her,
the way she broke in, the way she got through that force field, bro.
Yeah. I just wish she said something else besides run, but I get why she said run. But like, she could have said like the coldest shit right there, and it would have been like over.
Just scare him. Maybe?
Yeah, it would have just been scary.
I love that Wong was like, "Fortify your mind."
That was honestly, I know it wasn't supposed to be funny.
Narik laughed. He laughed in the theater.
It was hilarious. Yeah. That was so funny, man. And it just, I love the memes on Twitter showing Omni Man of him doing that.
Fortify your mind.
Oh gosh. That's pretty funny. Yeah,
it was so much desperation from Wong. Like he was like, You
I just
needed
want to.
everyone to be 100%. Like you couldn't shake it.
This
It's
man was 90. He was at 90.
maximum will.
I just need to highlight Benedict Wong's dialect coach because he's a British man and his accent, for it being a fake accent, is so fire. Like you would never expect it at all.
No.
Yo, he's
and
not
he
British,
spoke
right?
Spanish.
He's not British.
And
but
he spoke
did speak
Spanish.
That part was funny.
Yeah.
When I love hearing America Chavez use Spanish. I don't know if we really heard Spanish in the MCU. before.
No, they definitely made a point to like throw it in there.
Yeah, which is
And-
good, and it was effortless. Like
Mhm.
she said, I mean, when she said it, it sounded
The first
Perfect.
words in this
Yeah.
movie are in Spanish, right?
Yeah, the first words are in Spanish
in the very
of this
beginning.
movie. Yeah.
What did she
Her,
say?
Starts
her and
off.
Defender Strange were talking in Spanish. I think she just said,
I don't remember that. I saw it twice.
like, why is it chasing us or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I do remember. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I thought was really cool. Because like the little background about America Chavez is she's an alien. And I think there was always some confusion comic book wise because it was like she's an alien, but her last name is Chavez. Like, where does this kind of come from?
Right.
And like even just the name, like America Chavez, like it just
America.
sounds like I remember people were like, "Is this person affiliated with Captain America?" And it was like, "No, she punches holes into the multiverse," and like it was completely separate. And people were like, "Where's the connection there?" Right?
I mean, the
Right.
name is confusing because even me, like, I had no idea who America Chavez was before this movie. And I saw the star and I was like, is she like a Captain Marvel type of character? Because that's what I assumed. Especially because her powers seem like cosmic. So that was my guess. But now, yeah. She's a totally
And her jacket has the American flag on it too, right?
Yeah. And like that was, I don't know if there's an explanation for that because I haven't seen or I haven't read her comics. So there may be an explanation for why she wears that jacket, where she got it from, why America and then the flag all kind of comes together.
Maybe eventually when
it could be
one
an
of the
identity thing where it's
universes-
like, hey, my name is America Chavez and this means America, like as if we wear something that means something else and we're like, this is we relate with it, right?
Yeah.
But I like that they decided to say, well, the universe that she comes from will be almost like a Hispanic universe, you know, like her mom's.
I did like that.
And like the language of the planet or of the universe that she's in is Spanish, which I thought was pretty dope. I was like, oh, that's like a cool way to add it.
Another
You
planet doesn't just speak English.
Yeah.
Like even in
there's layers to it.
We talk about it in Loki, you know, when he goes to that planet that's the moon is falling, like everybody there speaks English. It's like you couldn't just make up a language for this part.
Right.
You know? So
and that's what makes Star Wars so great is because they you know make all these different alien languages.
Yeah. So it was cool to hear something else other than just English, you know.
And to me, it kind of makes sense because with the multiverse and the way that it is, every variation of everything is possible. So yes, there would be a universe that just speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
There would be a universe that speaks every single language that we speak, and that be the primary language, at least because of how many different versions of the multiverse they have.
Yeah.
So it made sense to me. But I thought that was just like a cool thing that they threw in there.
I mean, in Kamartaj, I thought they were gonna have somebody powerful, you know, defending like her, like protecting her, you know, which they didn't.
Well, they had Doctor Strange and Wong.
Yeah, but like with her in the basement, you know, somebody like the third.
It was it was homeboy with no arm. Remember he like
exactly. That's why would
I thought he was like that's the dude that's supposed to protect her. It's like
the third hand man.
Yeah,
he's not,
for lack of a better term, because he doesn't have a hand. But he was out here doing magic without a hand. But he got snatched up into that reflection when Scarlet Witch was coming through.
You know, when she was breaking out of that mirror, or she got into the
mirror dimension,
and then she like was breaking out. You know, and I've seen comparisons that is straight from a comic. I don't remember which one, but it was literally like scene for scene what happened in the comic.
I just want to point out the foreshadowing of what the mirror dimension caused, because obviously the way her face was cut off, right, in the mirror dimension showed how she was and how she got through the mirror dimension. And it was also the placement of the blood when she started murking everybody while she was dreamwalking. Yeah. So I just wanted to point out the little tidbit that attention to details, everything.
Yeah. No, they're gonna do it for sure. How do you guys feel about that being the explanation for the multiverse? Is this dream walking thing? That's like one of the things that they introduced is that dreams are a window to another universe.
Oh, you mean a reoccurring dream of me being chased naked by a clown?
Yes, that one.
No,
It's
that's
happening
real.
somewhere. It's real.
That's real. I don't know. I think it's interesting, mostly because your dreams, they have to come from somewhere. Like they have to have some sense to them. So I guess making that another universe is that making some sense to them.
Mm-hmm.
But how long has this been a thing? Did it happen?
After He Who Remains got killed?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, obviously, we don't know exactly what that time frame is because that happened outside of time, but it did happen before. Like, I think,
Well,
probably around the
Kevin
Spider-
Feige confirmed.
said, yeah, go ahead, Sincere.
Yeah, so Kevin Feige on the red carpet for the Multiverse of Madness confirmed that because of what Loki and Sylvie did is allowing this to happen. Because say if things are still in place by He Who Remains,
Yeah,
then
the
they would have
TVA
got the TVA would have stepped in exactly. But
Mhm.
since there's no TVA to step in, it allowed this to go through and allowed all these events to unravel, causing all these different branches into the multiverse.
See, and that's why we need more information
Mhm.
because Loki season 2 or Loki should have been in this movie because he's at another universe's TVA.
Or even a version
So-
of him,
Yeah, and it's like if he's at another universe's TVA, then that TVA should be active in pruning. You know what I'm saying? But there's
Mhm.
not a huge sacred timeline anymore. So there should only be one TVA. But the fact that there's multiple that police each universe, it just starts to get confusing when you really break it down.
The only issue with that is that we technically have the 2011 Loki from the first Avengers.
From the
Yeah.
first Avengers.
Because
from
our Loki
Endgame.
got by Thanos.
I think it happened. Okay, this is just a guess, but I think it happened after Endgame. Like right after Endgame is when the multiverse got cut. And then the sacred timeline is no more. That's my guess. It can only make sense because I don't know, just from that point on, it seems like that's when things started getting crazy, with
Mhm.
Spider-Man happening. Doctor Strange obviously happened after Spider-Man. And I mean, we still haven't even seen what happens in Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
which
it
is probably
definitely
happened around the same time as Spider-Man, maybe, or a little bit after.
happens in between Far From Home and Endgame.
Mhm.
For sure. Which now that you think about it, like they should have just kept the story that Quentin Beck was actually from a different universe. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't have hurt the film at all, and it would have made more sense because the end of Loki most likely lines up with like right when Endgame is ending or right before.
They've been
So
teasing
that's what people have been talking about. Because if you go back to Far From Home, Quentin Beck designates Earth 616 correctly.
Yeah.
The way that what's her name? Christine and
Yeah.
the what was the dystopian one? 6 something?
838.
838. There we go. She
It's the
says
Supreme
that
universe is
Yeah,
like
it was advanced.
the advanced universe or
Mhm.
something like that.
yeah, so somehow either he got it correct coincidentally or he had inside information about the multiverse
Mhm.
and that 616 was legit
He had to have been talked to from someone who travels the multiverse.
Yeah.
You
Honestly,
know, imagine it
maybe a
comes
Doctor
back that
Strange.
imagine if Kang spoke to him,
Or Kang, honestly.
or like a Doctor Doom spoke to him.
I could see Kang more.
I could see
Obviously, because
Kang
Kang
more
is
also,
already
yeah.
introduced into the MCU.
Loki should have been in this movie. Kang should have been in this movie, and
Yeah.
I feel like we would have got something way different that actually advanced where we're going with Marvel as a
Yeah.
whole.
I don't think Loki should have been in it because I mean I can't think of anything of what could have been added.
Loki could have been the other member of the Illuminati. There was an empty chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what
Maybe it
I
was
got
Rogue.
from that, what I got from
That
that
would
is
have been
that
dope.
that was Strange's chair. From what I got from that,
No,
and
there was another chair.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
that's
It
the
would be
seventh
two.
chair.
Like there was one chair for Strange because Mordo replaced Strange.
That is true.
So wherever Mordo was sitting, that's where Strange would sit, and then there was still an empty chair.
Yeah. I mean, I thought we were at least going to get Sylvie because I know Sylvie is part of an iteration of the Illuminati.
I feel like she's bigger than that now because of
her
her
could have been
role,
a different
what
Sylvie.
she did, a different. That's what I'm saying, Loki, because Sylvie's basically Loki. So Loki would have been the guy to put there because that's the only thing that wasn't represented within that Illuminati. Like if you think about all the types of characters and where they're from and who got introduced, there was no one from Asgard.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
everywhere else pretty much was covered. Mutants were covered, Inhumans were covered, humans were covered
For some reason,
with Fantastic
Inhumans was
Four,
covered.
Cosmic was covered. I know for some, for real though. But oh man, we got to talk about that scene and how you feel
we're just
about
about
that.
to get into
There's only so much
whole-
time.
what is it?
So much movie.
Yeah, 838.
838. So
Yeah.
we're in the 838 universe.
Let's jump to 838.
Wait.
Chavez are there.
Time to deliver a pizza ball. I just want to point
Pizza
out.
Ball. We got Pizza Papa in 838.
I just want to point out.
A real place?
No, it's Bruce Campbell.
Oh, okay.
He's Pizza Papa.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He's the Pizza Papa.
That whole thing was unnecessary.
Yes,
no, it wasn't.
But it wasn't and was.
It was unnecessary to the story.
Yeah.
It was necessary to the fans.
No, not. I mean, yeah, that little interaction
with the Sam Rami movie. You need a Bruce Campbell like cameo.
I get it. I mean, I'm not well versed. I guess.
I mean, you've seen all the Spider-Man movies that he did.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was a running thing because I never watched any of other.
And a fun fact: in all 3 Spider-Man movies, because in the first one he was the announcer in the wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay,
and he was the doorman.
The doorman, and then number 3 he was the French waiter.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man 4 in the write-up, he was actually meant to be Mysterio.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
I've seen people like Photoshop his face.
Yeah, he put like I think he posted a picture of his face on Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and he was like, probably won't happen. Pretty much, like
he also posted that he was going to be a Doctor Strange variant last year.
Yeah, which would have been dope too.
I mean, he could have pulled it off. Yeah, he could have pulled it off.
A Doctor Strange variant, that would have been hilarious. Pizza Papa.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But I really did like how they took their time to go through this universe. Like they walked through it. It was like a long time that they were in it.
Show up at the Sanctum.
Yeah, and what that told me is that okay, you can do a whole movie in a different universe, and we'll be okay with it. You know, and
everybody seems so stiff in that universe. Like
for sure.
So
it was super colorful, but everybody was wearing black.
Yeah. So basically, someone was saying the way that universe would work would be that they're focused more on natural beauty. So when you look at like regular clothing or anything like that, you're not focused on that. You're wearing very monotone colors, letting the earth kind of just do its thing.
Which is probably why Captain Marvel was in like the shiny, but it was just black, you know, that kind of thing.
I'll bring up one thing as well regarding the swap between red and green. Like red means go, green doesn't. I'll touch base on that when we get into Wanda murking people, but yeah, that's very interesting.
No, I want to know. Tell
okay,
so we're pretty much there as far as what we saw in the
so we'll jump right into it. So we get the Illuminati. Illuminati consists of Black Bolt.
We're talking about the universe, like, because you said red means go, and
but he means like what it means in association with Wanda killing the Illuminati.
Okay. No,
yeah. So take the Illuminati members: Black Bolt, Reed Richards, Captain Marvel, Captain Carter, Charles Xavier, and Mordo. The reason, and this is all speculation, of course. Want to get your guys' thoughts on what you think. The reason they underestimated Wanda so much is because they don't see red as a threatening color in this universe.
I think that's a stretch.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they knew she was gonna be a problem only if she dreamwalked, because they knew there's no other way she can get here. I mean, you guys got here because of America Chavez. Like, that's the only way you were able to get here. Otherwise, the only way you can get into this universe is dreamwalking, and once that happens, we're gonna murk you. You know, kind of what they did with Doctor Strange.
Well, I think they were going to do that with anybody, right?
Mhm.
If anybody dreamwalk. But I think my theory is that, and Wong kind of touched on this. He was like, the Scarlet Witch is prophesied to either rule or destroy. And I think that the Illuminati know of the Scarlet Witch, and that Wanda could, in certain universes, is the Scarlet Witch. But they're like, the amount of times that happens, and either rule happens or chaos happens, is so minuscule that they're more worried about Doctor Strange, who regularly is messing with the multiverse, like is kind of prone to doing it.
Yeah. I mean, he'll find a way, you know, the Darkhold, America Chavez.
He'll somehow get there. Like it seems like that his route is to the multiverse no matter what. Because
which is pretty crazy, because even what if, you know, he's a threat.
It's like a fixed point.
Yeah, he's like, he can be the savior, but in being a savior, it can damage the universe. Because even in this movie, they kind of always say, like, you always want to be the one
holding the knife.
Yeah, holding the knife. Pretty much going back, and it's got like an Easter egg of him being a surgeon. And yeah, I mean, he does, and it's kind of hurt the universe. I mean, we saw in that 838 universe, he pretty much helped defeat Thanos, but at that cost, he caused an incursion, and it destroyed, I think, 2 universes.
Yeah,
like completely.
Much, yeah.
So
1 trillion people.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah, we beat Thanos, and our universe is fine, but in doing that, you know, we kind of have to.
I just want to point out, I love the Thanos cameo we got in this movie.
Yeah, the dead Thanos. What was in his chest?
It was his sword.
Didn't see that?
In their flashback, you saw it 4 times.
I know, I never noticed. I know that they were on Titan, and I
he's
noticed
right there off to the right.
Really?
He's off to the right hand side, and his blade, his double-sided blade, is through his chest.
Double-sided blade.
Oh, dang! I never noticed. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I did see it 4 times, but I never noticed. I was focused on what I was looking at.
I mean,
that needed to be a longer scene anyway. Like, what are we doing? That should have been a whole
It'd be
dialogue.
Cool if they showed like a summary of the whole fight, and them using the Book of Ashanti.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
It's Vishanti. Ashanti is a beautiful woman.
Hey, and she's always on time.
Shout out to the Eye of Agamotto.
But yeah, you guys want to get into Illuminati a little bit more? Just some of the characters.
Yeah,
I mean,
smartest man alive. My ass.
It wasn't who we thought.
No, I mean, I saw guesses of it being Mr. Fantastic in there.
Yes, I think Mr. Fantastic.
And in the trailer,
Black Panther was pretty much. It was. They thought that Iron Man, Tom Cruise's Iron Man, was going to be in this movie. They thought it was going to be the Illuminati straight from the comics. And when trailers were coming out, they kind of showed a little bit too much. And when I saw Captain Carter's shield, that changed my opinions on who was going to be in the Illuminati.
I never saw the shield in the trailer. So
it was like one of the spots. They shouldn't have shown it. They shouldn't have shown it at all.
So well, it was actually in the very first poster that we got, and one of the glass shards, you could see the Captain Marvel variant logo, like her chest glowing, and then you could see the Captain Carter shield in the original poster.
Like, I thought that they would maybe visit Captain Carter's universe or visit a universe. Like, I thought that this movie was going to be a journey through the through the multiverse.
All at once.
As we're learning, he's learning, that whole thing, you know. But that wasn't what happened, and unfortunately, because they didn't do that, we still don't know anything.
No.
Right.
No, yeah.
And we're running out of time. We're running out of time to get to know everything. And that's my only worry about this movie. I feel like a lot of people can sense it. Like, this was the one. This and Ant-Man, Quantumania should be the 2 movies that inform us on what is going on.
I agree. I think Ant-Man's going to tie everything in together, because I know we kind of have those conversations separate, and more people have been talking about it. About, like, there's really no clear direction as of yet on where this phase is going. but I think Ant-Man Quantumania is gonna tie it all together. I could be wrong.
And it's not well, it's not about like being wrong because it's all speculation, right?
Yeah.
Like it should, like
Yeah.
you thinking that it should do that. But what this movie has done for me is I need to lower my expectations now because they
Yes.
can turn it into a way where it's like, no, this is just a self-contained film. We just
Which
like
is
we
what
care
everything has been.
more exactly. We care more about finishing Ant-Man, Hank Pym, and Hope's story
Oh no, don't do that.
than showing you what's gonna come down the line as far as the
Don't do
multiverse is
that.
concerned. I'm telling you,
Don't do that.
I promise you that they're probably gonna do that. And in my mind, I'm like, dang, we're supposed to get Kang as the villain, but we think he's gonna be this big bad villain, but he might just be a villain for that movie, and that will be terrible.
And then we
if
just
they
get
do
a
that.
different Kang for the, I don't know.
No, they'll get Iron Lad. So
Iron Lad.
they'll have a good Kang and a bad Kang pretty much be in the movie with Ant-Man, Hank Pym, Hope.
Yeah,
Hank Pym will probably die because he's old, and that's gonna be the movie. And it's like, no, that's not what we want. Like, you need to advance what's going on here and use them as the vehicles of where we're going. And personally, I feel like they should do Kang, have him survive Quantumania, and then be the villain for Fantastic Four. And in that, Doctor Doom sees what's possible with sorcery and the multiverse, and that can set us up for Phase 5. But I don't,
Yeah,
I don't know. We have to lower our expectations now.
Yeah,
because this movie, they shattered what they could have led with, which is the Illuminati and all of these different versions. Like we got 92 Charles Xavier, not just any Charles Xavier, bro. In the Zamboni, in the yellow Zamboni. But what was cool about that though, even though that she murked the entire Illuminati, and I want to hear your tie back to that, Sincere, now that we're talking about all of them getting killed. Disney and Marvel, they announced the X-Men 97 animated show.
The animated.
And they just killed the Charles Xavier that would be the Charles Xavier for that show.
Right.
Well,
it's a different universe.
Yeah, it's a different universe.
But like the theme played. Like if the theme didn't play,
that'd be different.
With y'all. Yeah, I'd be with y'all. I'd be like, all right, he just got
1997 then?
Huh?
You think that's the year 1997?
I don't know.
Do you think the animated show will be canon to the MCU?
I think so. I do think that, yes.
It's equivalent to What If being canon.
That's what I was,
because they have to bring the X-Men in some sort of way. Why not bring them in this way?
So about the Illuminati fight, I want to know how, maybe you guys can answer that, how Wanda killed Captain Marvel so easily.
She took away her power.
When do you guys see that though? Because
when the shield, when her face mask is kind of being taken off, when they're kind of spiraling.
That too. Yeah, when they're spiraling, all of a sudden their powers are like the same, and then you see Wanda's go from like a trajectory of moving forward to a trajectory of like overcoming it. But you don't really tell because it's spiraling as it goes through.
Yeah,
but it's like that, and then it kind of comes over it, and then they do the close up of her armor coming off, and that was the indication.
Yeah, because I mean, I always thought Captain Marvel was probably just as strong as Wanda, but maybe not as a Scarlet Witch with the Darkhold too.
We also don't know if this Captain Marvel got her powers from the Tesseract.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it could just be the Kree blood.
I assume. Yeah, that's true. She probably just says that. I just assume that Captain Marvel got her powers from Captain Marvel got her powers from the Tesseract, and then also Wanda as well. So
for the opposite like reason, for like in the same thing what you're talking about, like I don't think that Wanda should have been that powerful. Like even just because Scarlet Witch possessed her, I feel like she shouldn't have, because she was a relatively weak Scarlet Witch because she didn't have no reason to fight.
Well, I think it was just a Darkhold that made her that much more powerful.
Yeah,
because I mean, we even see it when the Doctor Strange of the A3A universe, he was able to defeat or figure a way out to defeat Thanos. While our Doctor Strange, we didn't have the Darkhold in our universe. It was with Agatha, pretty much. And I think if Doctor Strange did have the Darkhold, he would have used it, and he would have saw that in his when he was going through all those realities of what can happen. So I mean, the Darkhold has a power that can, I don't think defeat things, but it'll help you gain knowledge that can help you defeat. Because if it wasn't for that Strange using the Darkhold, he would have never found the Book of Ashanti. And then he found the Book of Ashanti, and they were able to defeat Thanos. But again, he destroyed 2 universes in doing that. So I mean, it's just a very powerful book, and I mean, obviously, it's not around anymore, as we saw at the end of the movie.
So one thing that the fans did get, we've been calling for this, and I say we, not really including me, but just we, speaking from the perspective of Twitter, wanted John Krasinski to play Mr. Fantastic, and they delivered.
I just want to point out, during this time, I was really excited during the film, and I turned to see Narik's reaction, and he just subtly says, "They got Krasinski." All surprised.
I was shocked. I mean, I didn't even know we were going to get a Mr. Fantastic in the movie.
We would have had to.
I think
you can't have an Illuminati without Mr. Fantastic.
Right.
I actually would have preferred, as much as I like Krasinski, I would have preferred the original guy who played
Ian Grufford.
Yes,
Ian Grufford.
Ian Grufford. I just feel like he could have delivered the lines that Krasinski said, like way more intensity than.
It's so funny seeing Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, because I feel like we are already used to it for some reason.
So like we did it, and it was like, oh man. Wow, they really did it.
You see him as Mr. Fantastic, and you're like, oh yeah.
So I just want to point out,
it's almost like not wanting what you wanted for so long. Like once you got it, that's really where my sigh went. I was like, that was me feeling it, and I was just like, oh, I don't feel as awesome as I thought I was gonna feel looking at it.
I think when the movie comes, we'll see who's the actual casting of it. I think it will still be John Krasinski. People think otherwise, which could also happen.
It's gonna be the astronaut from WandaVision, man.
Oh no, it's gonna be Ralph Boner.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Well, real quick, I just want to point out, and kind of going by what like Skywalker said, or kind of like what Narik said, kind of filling it out and seeing it visually, like Krasinski actually being in that place. For whatever reason, and I got my question answered online, but for whatever reason, all the heroes look different. All the heroes looked visually different to me.
Oh, because those were all reshoots, and they shot them like without each other.
Exactly. Yeah. So Elizabeth Olsen never met Patrick Stewart and never met John Krasinski.
I saw it again, and I was like, oh, I see the movie magic.
I was looking at the
it
shots.
Was just mostly hands, and then face, and then face, and then hands.
Yeah, or over the shoulder, and then like just a close up on the face, and like them talking, and they were talking to walls, bro, the whole time. They were not interacting with one another.
And same thing with when Black Bolt had the craziest death in this whole movie. When he got there should have been no reason why Captain Carter and Captain Marvel just stood there.
Agreed.
Like if your true homie, a true friend got like that, and his brain melted in front of you, you would not just be standing there allowing that shit to happen.
I don't know how they could stop that.
Well, we've seen what it's like when they already planned all these characters to attack at one time or something like that. Like we've seen Age of Ultron. You have the Hulk, Hawkeye, everybody doing different things, but all in the same shot. There was no reason why that shouldn't have happened in this if they had it already planned out that this was what was going to happen. I feel like we saw them coming up with the ideas literally in real time.
They
as
for
we
sure
were watching
had
the
to
movie.
get rid of. I mean, obviously, because Krasinski and Elizabeth Olsen didn't film together, they had to off them first, because they can show them actually fighting. And he got shriveled up and then popped like a balloon.
She shredded him like cheese.
Yeah, she shredded him.
And popped his brain.
Which is one funny thing too, because Narik, you can probably answer this, but in the comics, does Reed Richards die something similar like that? Does he ever die at all?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that's in a few panels, like because of just the way that they did it, the way that they tried to emphasize it.
Mhm.
But I haven't read any Fantastic
Mm.
The
Four
way he died,
other than when Spider-Man joined.
the way he died reminded me of the way the alien died in Invincible in the first episode, first season. The
Yeah.
way he just pulls his brain out and that's
Yeah.
it. So like her kind of shredding him to kind of like
Yeah, I mean, the deaths were definitely like Invincible-esque.
Mhm.
You know, something you see in an animated show or The Boys.
Mhm.
So for Marvel to do this, it was shocking in that sense, you know, like they really pushed the PG-13, which we've kind of talked about before, you know,
Mhm.
like what where PG-13 movies can be pushed to and what can be used and certain language, certain scenes. And even with the Deadpool movie, that one's going to be rated R. But if they wanted to do it PG-13, it would be
It'll still work.
it would work to an extent.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's Deadpool, so you kind of need it to be rated R.
Mhm.
Not even kind of. You do need it to
you're
be rated.
allowed one F word in PG-13 movies.
Yeah, that's not gonna
And
fly in Deadpool.
yeah, they only used I think they only used shit.
In Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where.
Oh, and they used bitch.
That
and,
one's not really too much of a curse word though. That one I feel
Did
like
they?
is pretty lenient.
Yeah, it was both with Mordo. Strange said shit when he realized Mordo was the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh yeah, his
And
like,
then
"Oh, shit."
and then he called him I think he said son of a bitch when he got poisoned and like but it like muffled out and it was like all stretched and everything.
Son of a
Oh,
Yeah. So but that was it like from the movie. They just had like a few they'd probably categorize under gruesome, you know, like with his face like all scratched
Mhm.
up in there and the way
Yeah.
that Wanda looked with the jump scares coming through and then of course Charles Xavier getting his face ripped off, but they didn't quite show the aftermath of that.
Yeah.
It looked like he got his
she
neck
broke his
broke, but
yeah.
no,
Didn't
no, she ripped his face apart. Like,
Really?
when yeah, when you really look at it, it's like because it was like a zombie like Wanda that came in with like nails and like it got torn. He basically got
I'm
his
glad that
face
wasn't
torn.
used in the trailer.
Huh?
I feel like they could have used that red cloud. Like they would have used
red
that red
cloud?
cloud
Yeah.
in the trailer
That would have been cool.
with Xavier like CGI'd out.
Yeah.
Just for the
I think
trailer,
that
you
would have
know?
been cool.
No, actually, I'm glad they didn't.
Oh, you're glad that they didn't do it?
Because I'm glad we were able to see that.
That would have definitely told me that there was a mind scene, you know?
Yeah,
and
but there would have
Yeah.
been more speculation.
Yeah.
Of people thinking what that is.
And one thing I do want to point out, even in this universe, Charles Xavier is very selfless because when he was trying to retrieve Wanda, he
Mhm.
kind of pushed her back into the tunnel so that way she didn't get consumed by the Scarlet Witch. In that
Mhm.
universe, he sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
And if they're aware of the multiverse, I'm sure that he knows like Wanda's origins,
Mhm.
you know, and
For
like
sure.
understands all of that.
I mean, her dad is
His best friend is Magneto.
So I'm saying, but like what was really cool also is just like I loved in his dialogue. It was subtle, but like he was just talking about Thanos, and it's like, are we really not understanding what we're seeing right here? Like we're seeing
Right.
Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier talking about Thanos. Like, think about how far those movies are from apart, and like now we're witnessing that conversation and that dialogue.
The
you know?
importance of that dialogue and is very it was just seen as regular
Yeah,
dialogue.
It was just regular, and I was like, "This is low key dope."
This is
like
peak Marvel. Right
it was
now.
peak. It was
Yeah.
peak for sure.
I mean,
Subtle flex.
It doesn't get any better than that, to be honest. After when was the first X-Men movie? 2002, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
2001, 2002, something like that. And then in 2022, we have them talking about Thanos.
Yep.
Like,
20 years later, we have that. Yep.
the same character, same
Mhm.
actor, same powers.
Yep.
Nothing. He's always been the best Professor Xavier.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
for
there's
sure.
only two.
For sure. I mean,
know.
I could give it up for James McAvoy. Like he did. He
I have a
he made something
feeling-
out of nothing.
I have a feeling he's gonna be our Professor X.
Probably.
in 616, which I also will be okay with.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Him and Michael Fassbender, bring them both.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender needs to come as Magneto.
Yeah.
I think he's the best Magneto.
The problem is, which is very valid, but I don't know how mutant genes work, is
Mhm.
that Magneto's story of him being a part of the Holocaust is really important to his character. And that happened in, sorry, my history's off, World War II, right?
World War II.
So that's 50s, 60s, 50s.
Yeah.
W-
No,
for
yeah,
real?
1939. This through the 40s.
Okay, through the 40s. Okay, so I was aging it up. Yeah, okay, 39 to 45. Thank you, Derbs. So my point is that he'll be like 90 with where the MCU is right now. So how do you still tell that story when
That's
Magneto
true.
is supposed to be older, unless he comes from a universe where they're aged back within the universe? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So
I
I'm
do.
like, I don't know how they're gonna do that, even if they have Michael Fassbender, unless they say mutant genes makes me not age. Like, yeah, I'm 90, but like,
That
you
could
know,
that could be a thing.
I'm
you know.
still I'm me, you know. Then it's like, okay, cool, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know, things I think about, right?
Yeah, some other some other things I do want to get into is Sam Raimi and going into the horror aspect a little
This
bit.
movie was shot so well.
Yeah, but from a horror movie, like they took a lot of good horror movie angles and shots.
The
Obviously, jump scares.
Did
But
you guys have any favorite like scenes or more so shots in this film
I
that were very
love the shot where she's trying to take uh the 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 Wanda with the kids, her body, and then she's just kind of zooming through the house,
Mhm.
and
and the
then
way
like Wanda
her
feels
in the
something in
photo moves and then the
yeah,
way the peas move.
that part was awesome.
Mhm.
And that is very Evil Dead-esque too, going with Sam Raimi.
Right.
He was interviewed and they asked him what Easter eggs he put into Doctor Strange, and he said he didn't do nothing on purpose. He said maybe because I did work on Evil Dead, kind of just translated that way. Which was a few things, obviously, Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead, the Necronomicon in Evil Dead. They have a book, an evil book, kind of like the
Darkhold.
Darkhold. Book of the Damned is the Darkhold, and then the Necronomicon is the Book of the Dead,
Mhm.
which is one of the things. And then, yeah, the Wanda thing, and then the sounds as well.
Mhm.
The sounds a lot it reminds me of Evil Dead, the little spirit sounds too.
Mhm.
So, him. I just think he was perfect. Given that's probably like one of the most iconic cult favorites of horror movies, and to have him do Doctor Strange is special, especially after doing Spider-Man and doing a pretty good job up until 3, but
Yeah.
don't think it's entirely his fault.
It's not his fault. One of
Yeah.
the things that I really love about Sam Raimi are the extras that are in his film. The extras sell it every single time. And for anybody who watched Spider-Man, Tobey Spider-Man, don't watch the movie. Watch the extras.
Right.
And if you look at the extras, they are convinced that what's going on around them is really happening. And I love that about just the way that Sam Raimi shoots his films. And in this film, they had that too. Like every scene, because there was so much CGI that was going on. There was so much that wasn't real and wasn't in front of them. When you look at like all the extras, whether it's the wedding scene and like what everyone's doing in the background, just walking through the town and like what everyone's doing on the background, the fighting
Yeah.
I
what's
guess
his name?
Gargantos.
Gargant, bro. The extras sold that whole
Yeah.
thing.
There's this
The
part.
continuity error
I
in the
saw that.
trailer.
I don't know why.
Which one?
It's not just in the trailer.
What do
it's
you
in
mean?
the movie.
What continuity error?
There's a guy that runs by like 3
Oh,
So-
yeah.
He runs
I
by
heard about
Strange
that.
like 5 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll post it. We'll post it on our Instagram.
Yeah,
I'll make that post when the episode
that's
drops.
probably like the
But
one big continuity error. It's not too big. But
no,
there's
it's not
this
that bad.
part that- I don't know. It made me laugh because the first time I watched it, I didn't realize it. And it's something so tiny. When they're in the diner and and America Chavez is eating the pizza, and Wong and America ask him a question, there's another person that asks Doctor Strange a question too. And
She's
he
like, "Do
kinda-
you mind?"
She's like, she just
Oh,
comes out of
yeah,
nowhere.
yeah.
She's like, "Can I get a picture?"
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "No, yes, yes." And
Yeah.
then she just walks away. I'm just like, that's so random.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it's obviously it's there for a reason because it's like he's an Avenger and they want a picture.
And that conversation should have been like expounded upon too. Like
What
there
the-
was a cut between like him talking to America Chavez, learning about the like they did a lot of things in this movie where like they said a line and they were almost like waiting for us to respond as an audience to the line. It's like, I could travel the multiverse. Pause.
Yeah, because
And then we'll cut and then
Yeah.
go to like to more stuff. And I'm like, yo, have the dialogue. Like, we got too much shit that we got to talk about right now. I don't need you to pause on what you're saying. I need you to tell me what's going on.
Yeah. So I guess we can get into the second act of the movie and kind of speed it up along a little bit. I mean, we do get after America Chavez gets kidnapped by Wanda and taken to Mount Wondergore. Is that it is?
Well, yeah,
Mount Wondergore.
Wondergore.
We get Strange versus Evil Strange,
Mm-hmm.
which is a really
Well, so it's
really
considered
cool fight.
Supreme Strange, right?
No,
Sinister Strange.
Sinister Strange. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's pretty much
they fight with
infected
music
by the Book of the Damned. Yeah, that is.
Look, man, Danny Elfman. The way Danny
Yeah.
Elfman killed that
Fire.
scene,
Oh my
like not
God.
just this scene, the whole movie, but this scene specifically, I felt like, obviously we're all artists here. I felt so seen. I felt so seen. No pun intended.
Nah, I feel you. And if anybody saw Danny Elfman at Coachella this past month, he was mixing in like his rock hardcore kind of songs with the songs that we know him from as far as movies are concerned. But he does a lot of original music that sounded like their fight.
Yeah.
So it was perfect for him to do that. And it was, I mean, I loved it, but at the same time, I was a little jealous because like I've thought of animes like using music and making it like an actual form, kind of like Scott Pilgrim or like, but like even more better. And then they kind of did it in this movie. And I was like,
yeah. I mean,
we're never going to
Scott
see it
Pilgrim-
again now.
Scott
because
Pilgrim
they
is
did it.
probably like
The way we saw Black Panther with the Philharmonic
Yeah.
at the bowl, I would love to see that with Danny Elfman in this movie.
Oh, that would be pretty dope.
It's gonna be a while before that happens, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna tweet him tonight. He'll get back to me.
Danny Elfman or Ludwig?
Both.
Nah, fam.
Wait, wait. Sorry, are you talking about for scores?
Yeah.
Oh, Danny Elfman.
I would go Danny Elfman because of what he's accomplished. But Ludwig is
Ludwig's getting there.
You got to give that to
he is
Ludwig,
getting
bro.
up there.
He's getting
I
there.
need a little bit more diversity from Ludwig, I will say. I think it's a little early.
You haven't seen Turning Red?
That's
No.
Phineas, bro.
Is it not Ludwig?
It's not Ludwig. That's Phineas.
Yeah, because I when I was looking at the credits, I saw Ludwig Göransson. I was like, Ludwig.
He probably helped, but no, Phineas.
I
Billie
feel
Eilish.
like that'd be the other way around.
I'm not talking about the boy band music.
Oh, you're talking about just the score in general?
Yeah, the score.
Yeah, the score of the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, like not the songs.
Yeah, because it was
movie.
Billie Eilish and
So
Phineas.
that's what I guess. Can we really compare I know this is totally off topic, but can we really compare them? Because Danny Elfman is out here killing it with lyrics, also not just the score. He's putting together whole ass songs for these.
I mean,
movies.
Danny Elfman did Nightmare Before Christmas, so I think that's the equivalent of like putting out a Diamond album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Ludwig, I don't think I have that yet from Ludwig. Like scores, I might have to nudge the Ludwig, but overall, he's getting up there.
You got to give it to Danny, man.
Yeah.
You got as much as I want. Now fuck that. I'm gonna die on the hill for my man Ludwig.
I'm going Danny Elfman, but we can revisit this another. We could do this when we could do like a celebrity death match where we can make like against like directors and
you did just say celebrity death match.
You're damn right. Actually, I did.
If they brought that back, that would be fire. They're
supposed to.
No, they'll never be able to do it.
Yeah, but
no one is going to allow their likeness to get like
Megan
done like that without
versus...
them getting paid. Like, who'd you say? What,
Megan
Stanley?
No.
Oh, Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, I thought you said Stanley. I was like, oh man, they would definitely do that. They would do Stanley. The only way that that show can come back is if it was like on Adult Swim with like the creators of Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
I can see that.
Other than that, it can't.
So
keep
other than that fight with
Sinister
Strange,
he got impaled.
Obviously he killed him with the harp, the last one.
He went,
and it was so silent in my theater. The second time, it was so silent, and right before it hit Strange, I heard somebody say, "Got him." and then and I was like, oh damn,
that's hard.
I was like, that's fire. Like he had it times. I'm pretty sure he had seen it more than twice already.
That's dope.
So
That's dope.
he was like,
shout out to that guy.
got it. I was like, oh wow. He knew.
Yeah.
And I kind of laughed because I was like, that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was so perfect. Because
That's dope.
the theater was dead silent.
That's
and
dope.
then the movie was dead silent for that moment. So it was a funny experience.
Yeah. The sound was really hitting in this movie. That blade that went through the bus was like the sharpest shink that I've ever heard in a movie before. Yeah, the little saw and everything.
Oh, that was fire.
Yeah, the sound during that part also with Sinister and Doctor Strange was just really, really dope. And also, you know, he finished him out with his heart, you know, and he had a heart for Christine, and it was kind of the whole thing, and with using the harp, and I thought it was cool.
I love you in every universe.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna start using that.
You know, he
instead of I love you 3000, it's now I love you in every universe.
Sheesh, they're both good.
I love you 3000 is to your children. I love you in every universe is for the hoes.
For all the Christines out there.
For all the Christines.
So he ends up using the Book of the Damned and Dreamwalks into which is perfectly used, you know, putting him back into the dead body that is in that universe. Because when he puts it underground, I'm like, oh, they're gonna use that later for sure. In the on the top of the building under the bricks. It. He's like, I buried worse. It was cool that they brought that back. I was
Although
like,
I thought it was gonna get reanimated by Wanda. I didn't think that he would dreamwalk into it. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean the dreamwalking thing was a concept.
So that was my favorite shot in the whole movie because it was pure Sam Rami. The way that Strange, like when he started dreamwalking, emerged from wherever he was buried. It was so fire to me. I just want to throw that out there. It was
How'd you feel about like the spirits that were kind of like around it and stuff?
He turned into a cake.
That was an interesting aspect.
Yeah, that was just the spirits like not allowing him to use the book. I saw a video on it. Pretty much.
But wouldn't Wanda not be allowed to use the book?
No, because she has a chapter in that book that's dedicated to her, the Scarlet Witch.
Got it.
So she's allowed to dreamwalk and use it like that. Yeah, that too. But he said it himself. He's like, who says that you're not allowed to use dead bodies? But also
Agatha said it had to be alive.
Yeah, also Agatha used it, but I think that's because it was
Agatha did use a dead body.
But I feel like it's because it knew eventually it was gonna lead.
Agatha used Sparky
to Scarlet Witch. Sparky. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. He was able to fight it off. With the help of Christine, you know,
go back to hell.
You're the supreme. You could fight them off. You know? And then, yeah, that cape was cool. He flew it up to Mount Wondergore, and after that, you know, I did think he was gonna end up taking America Chavez's powers and then giving it back to her. But he knew, like, nah, like you need to step up here. Like I've seen you use your powers. You don't know that you're in control, but you're in control, you know, which is funny, you know. So far, I feel like Doctor Strange is the babysitter of the Young Avengers right now.
Who's the new Tony Stark?
Yeah, I mean, we got Peter Parker, we got Ned and Zendaya, and then we got America Chavez, and then we got Wanda's two kids, kind of.
Who's Peter Parker?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah.
Peter Parker.
Gotcha.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So what are you talking about? Oh yeah, I hear you. Speaking of Wanda's kids, I wish that they made more of an appearance. Like I wish that they manifested, because now we don't have them either. And I'm like, all right, so how are they gonna get there from the Young Avengers now?
Well, I think
because America wouldn't know who they are, really.
No. So
maybe
I think that universe is gonna try to find a way to come to our universe, and this goes into future predictions that those two timelines are going to be the multiversal war.
Yeah, I think when the incursion happens, or the incursion we saw,
and 616,
because obviously Wanda dreamwalked over there and killed their Illuminati. You know, Immortal's still alive, so he's gonna feel some type of bad. You know.
Yeah, no, there's problems for Wanda over at 838 for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then that I can see that's how the two kids, Billy and Tommy, come to our universe. Maybe, who knows? I mean, I think there will be a multiversal war, and then some of the heroes from each universe are going to see it as either good or bad, and then all of them will either side on their own side, or I don't know. It's a long ways down the road, the Secret Wars, which will probably be the next big Avengers movie. Yeah.
Big Avengers movie.
So yeah, I mean, it was cool to see America Chavez outsmart Wanda. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, you want to see your kids? All right,
Mhm.
well, let them see who you really are.
And that it's also just a callback to what Strange brought up in the beginning. He was like, "Well, what about their mom? Like, what are you gonna do with her?"
Yeah.
And Wanda didn't really think that
Wong
far.
said the same thing. Well, it's not that she didn't think that far. It's just hearing it
She
from
wasn't
Wong,
she wasn't ready to face it yet.
Yeah,
that she was
Right.
gonna have to murk them.
hearing it from Strange. She needed to hear it from herself,
Mhm.
which is kind of like she never thought that herself would say that. She never thought she would have to actually encounter it. Kind of like Nuri said,
Mhm.
she didn't know that this was what it was going to be once she got there. And them being scared of her and showing the monster that she is yeah, that was perfect. America Chavez thought that out perfectly, because I didn't know how they were going to defeat Wanda. I really thought they were gonna just have to obliterate her or something. But even then, Strange is in this zombie body, and whatever you dream walk in, you're only as strong as that character or form they're in. So he's not that strong in the zombie body, even though he's using the dark hold. So it was either going to be Wong or America Chavez, and I'm glad America Chavez. She had the perfect story throughout the movie. I think, if anybody won, it was her, because she was able to survive. She now knows how to use her powers, and now she's being trained at Carmartage. And yeah, I mean, I think she's going to be a pretty good young Avenger.
I agree.
Yeah. So, and then kind of going to who wins and loses. I don't think Wanda or Doctor Strange or anybody else other than America Chavez wins. Everybody else loses, because the multiverse is in a spiral right now, and they made it that much worse with all these incursions. And obviously we get that in the post-credit scene. Clea, is that Clea? Clea, which is supposed to be
Charlize Theron.
Yeah. Oh, but
she's
it's
Doctor
his wife.
Strange's wife.
Okay. Which I feel like it should have been Christine playing Clea.
Yeah.
A version.
Well, that's what everybody thought.
Yeah.
And that was the throw off again, because they saw that Rachel McAdams was going to be, in it. So they were like, oh, she's in one universe, she's going to be Clea, but they just casted a completely different person.
Even in an interview, she said that originally she was going to play 3 versions of herself. So almost there. But
yeah,
I mean, Charlize Theron has been rumored to be in the MCU for a while. So
I think she's a good choice.
She's a great choice.
She's the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension.
Into the Dark Dimension. So maybe we'll
Dormammu's niece.
I think the incursion has to do with our Mordo, which is we didn't get our Mordo. We got a more neutral Mordo, not the evil Mordo that we thought we'd see from the post-credit.
I thought that our Mordo figured out how to travel the multiverse, and then ended up being that's what
causing
I thought.
the madness, and then maybe Wanda would step in to help. That was the whole misdirection. Especially because we did see a Mordo in the trailer. We weren't sure if it was ours or a totally different one. Especially, he had a different haircut, so that should have been the giveaway.
He had hair.
He had hair. But yeah, I have some questions real quick. Do you
what you got?
We'll get our own Illuminati?
Yes.
No.
No?
I don't think.
You don't think that's Strange, after seeing that Illuminati, will be like, maybe it's a good idea?
I think we're gonna get. I think that they won't officially be called the Illuminati. They will always be called the Avengers.
Gotcha. Yeah, there won't be it won't.
But
be
there will be. Yeah, there will be a new team that gets established at the end of the day. But I don't think that Strange is gonna say, "Hey, they're gonna be called the Illuminati."
Right.
Another question. Who's Clea? Oh, I guess you answered that one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you think Strange will ever be the Supreme again?
No, I think that part of his arc is that he doesn't need to be Sorcerer Supreme to feel at his best.
Mhm.
It,
That's humbling him, not being
Yeah.
the Sorcerer Supreme, which
right.
is who our Strange is gonna become. Like he's gonna be the humble Doctor Strange.
Cool. Okay. And then the last one is, do you guys think there will be more Marvel horror movies?
I think it's possible. I think especially with the mutants, and I think also if they introduce more obscure like Marvel properties, because there's a lot of dark Marvel properties. It's just that they're not as popular, you know. So as they do what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy and bring in new people and teams
Yeah, the
where
obscure, the
the
super
obscure
obscure
ones, yeah,
ones.
then I think that there can be horror elements
Mhm.
in some of these movies. It may just
I
be the
mean,
best way to tell the
yeah.
story.
I mean, maybe Moon Knight season 2 kind of takes on that. I can see that.
Boo.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, I do want to see it. I just don't see what characters at the moment. Maybe Blade. Honestly, Blade could be one. Yeah,
Blade could
Yeah.
do it.
because of the vampire thing. So
I think once you get Blade, is it the Dark Knight? No, the Black Knight.
Black Knight, Black
Mhm.
Knight too.
Well,
could
Because-
Midnight
kinda-
Suns in general, if they do a Midnight Suns movie, which
And that's the
They
team
have to
of
do.
like, who is it, Narik? It's Doctor
It's
Strange.
yeah, the Midnight
Moon
Suns
Knight.
are more of like a supernatural dark kind of Avengers, but like more not because they're bad, but more of just they
magic.
deal with magic and kind of all that wild stuff. But Blade, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, Daredevil has been a part of it.
Punisher, I think.
Punisher has been a part of it. I think for the MCU that it would be Black Knight would be
You
included.
said Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider as well is another part of it. Wolverine has been a part of them.
Yeah, he doesn't have no magic.
No, he's just a beast.
Yeah, I guess they just get if you're a beast or you no magic.
If you're like
You could
Savage,
be in the
it's
Midnight
almost like
Suns.
Savage Avengers and Midnight Suns. I can kind of see get put together. I can see Deadpool joining that team depending on how they want to position him. It just depends on like the demeanor of like who they're bringing. I can see like Beast, like if they don't do like an X-Men traditional X-Men, I could see Beast being
Which
a
I
part
don't
of the
think they
Midnight
will.
Suns.
It's been.
I
played
agree.
out.
I agree with that.
Same,
So
they kind of did the same thing with Spider-Man. They didn't
yeah.
follow that usual route. They just went.
As far as the if they do a Midnight Suns, I could see them saying like doing a Blade movie, but it's like Blade in the Midnight Suns, you know, and that be the movie. And then you have Daredevil, you have Moon Knight, you have maybe a Doctor Strange cameo, but and maybe Daredevil, you know, and then you just
Which
and
is
Black
already
Knight.
introduced.
Watch our episode get taken down
Have
now
that.
because Narik just spoiled the next Blade movie.
I mean, it would be dope. Blade and the Midnight
Yeah.
Suns would do it, like
Yeah.
for sure. And Blade is overdue for a update on their logo and update on their timeline and all of that. So it's kind of like when we saw Cap 3 was Captain America and the Serpent Society, and we were like, "Whoa, they're gonna bring the Serpent Society in," and then they changed it and was like updated logo Captain America Civil War, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
same thing could happen.
Yeah. Well, other than that, it's over. Yeah.
I'm dead. If you haven't seen the movie yet, shout out Bruce Campbell in the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Here,
Did you guys get that reference, by the way?
it's over.
Yeah. Or just
There's
in
not-
general.
there's not much to get. It's over.
It's over. This. I mean, you're talking about like the
possession
spell?
of the hand. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
spell is over. Yeah. But he said it's over when he could have said it's done, but he had to say it's over because it was a second post credit scene. It reminded me of when Deadpool did the Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
It's over. What are you still doing?
What are you still doing? Everybody's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was very.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel's either going to give you
Deadpool-esque.
something great, or they're going to give you something
The
ridiculous.
second post credit scene. Usually, the second post credit scene.
They'll do a Howard the Duck. They'll do a shawarma.
70% of
They'll
the
do.
time, yeah, it's like a goofy one.
Yeah, it's not going to be something that.
Yeah, sometimes it
propels
is pretty
the-
crazy, like in Shang-Chi when he sees Bruce Banner.
Yeah. That was crazy.
And Wong. That
We
was
still don't know what happened there.
Hey, Shang-Chi 2 is going to be
Why
dope.
wasn't he in Doctor Strange?
That's another thing. But Shang-Chi is powerful enough. to kind of go into that realm also,
Mhm.
which I think,
The dark dimension,
well,
where the dark
okay,
hole is, like
so we're talking
Shaitan.
about who's gonna be the chief information getter and bringer, because Iron Man's gone, Cap's gone, Hulk is smart enough but not in a position.
Maybe an
We haven't
Eternal.
really got,
Maybe an Eternal.
I think
think?
that can happen. I think an
Star
Eternal can happen,
Fox,
but
maybe?
I think no, I think it's gonna be Shang-Chi. I think Shang-Chi is gonna be that person that has that information
Mm.
that gives it to us, because Strange doesn't know, but Shang-Chi's close enough with Wong and close enough with the magic and can do the history and could kind of piece it together. Captain America, Sam Wilson's not gonna know. Black Panther isn't able to,
Mm-mm.
and Loki is literally outside of the universe, and Thor is not gonna give it either.
Nah, not gonna do
So
that.
that's all we really got to push it forward. Blade
We
potentially.
got bug themed superhero.
Bug
That was,
themed
that was
crime
such a waste of a
fighters.
line. I was so mad. I was like, fam, that we got way more people that you could have said.
So
Yeah,
your
he can hit
options:
his-
guy with the mohawk, and an arrow, bug
basically
themed crime fighters,
Ant-Man,
Ant-Man, Wasp,
Hawkeye, and
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and that was it. Like, fam, how you gonna disrespect all of them
Every
like that?
movie I feel like they ask, like, you can ask another Avenger. It's like, trust me, you're the one.
I
Trust
hate
me,
that.
you're
Kinda like
contractually
Spider-Man.
obligated to be here.
I'm waiting for them to put in the dialogue of like, of course I'm here. Like, I'm right around the corner. Like,
Yeah.
like I also take care of New York City. Like, I'll be there,
Where were you when this happened? Oh, I was in Jersey.
So let's give our scores and then we'll end it there. You want to go first?
7.
7? I give it an 8.
I'm sticking with my original score of 8.5.
Okay. That's good. That's good. I enjoyed the movie. I don't think it's a great multiverse movie compared to, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Multiverse movie of the year.
That is multiverse movie there. And they beat them to the punch. So
yeah, they kind of snuck up on him a little bit.
Hit him with the quick
the Russo brothers.
jab.
It was the Russo brothers. They're like, hey, look, they're going to try to drop Doctor Strange around this time. We got to do it like a month before.
I know the Russos had inside information on when it dropped.
For sure. Who knows? There might be a
I don't
lawsuit
know.
on that.
Marvel's pretty compartmentalized.
I don't know. Do you work there? Do you know?
Leaks and
Well,
shit.
not really with actors though. Like they don't know what's going on.
I know what you mean. But yeah, it was still enjoyable. I mean, you saw it 4 times still, so.
Yeah, I didn't see it 4 times because of enjoyment. I saw it 4 times because I went to go see it with people who wanted to see it, and they know that I watch these kinds of things. So they were like, "You want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I enjoyed watching it with everybody. I watched it with my brother. I watched it with Travis and Austin. Shout them out.
Cool.
From 1050
I
and
didn't
Coachella
coin
guys.
them as Marvel people.
They're Doctor Strange fans.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
They like the trippy stuff and the way that the
things
are shot.
Coachella trippy stuff. Makes sense.
I see it now with Travis.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, Travis is on me.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
my guy. That's my guy.
All righty. Yeah. Well, we're gonna end it there. Very lengthy. We covered most of the movie. Go watch it again, or watch it if you haven't. And if you want to start a podcast, go to productiveculture.com/podcasts. And now it's over. Peace out.
Peace.